The House will be returning next week, and they would be here this week, except that we did our work.
Well, it's really the Trump shutdown.
Rather than work with President Trump and Republicans to get this job done, as our party has done repeatedly in the same situation over the years, Democrats want to play political games with the lives and the livelihoods of Americans. The simple truth is Democrats in Congress have dragged our country into another reckless shutdown to satisfy their far-left base. That is the truth. Whether or not the government remains open or reopens is entirely up to them. There's still time for Democrats to pass this clean bipartisan bill that's sitting before them, and we encourage our Democrat colleagues to do that. The House will be returning next week, and they would be here this week, except that we did our work. We passed the bill almost 2 weeks ago out of the House and sent it to the Senate. The ball is literally in Chuck Schumer's court, so he determines that.
Today we're in the middle of the Schumer shutdown. The Democrats have caved in to the radical wing of the Democrat Party, caved in completely, abandoned the American people in the process. And why? Well, one of the reasons is Chuck Schumer wants to try to prove to somebody that he's more liberal than AOC.
Well, it's really the Trump shutdown. Let me say something to you, John, that Republicans thought that they could barrel us into a shutdown because they didn't want to protect the health care of the American people. Well, now they've seen they can't bully us, they can't barrel us. They don't have the votes to push their partisan bill through that did nothing to protect American health care. So the solution now is for both sides to sit down and come to an agreement that protects American health care. The American people are struggling and healthing, and here's some news. We just got it from the Kaiser Health Foundation, that starting today, people will get notices that their health care premiums could go up as much as $1,000, more than double. We thought it was $400 a month. It's more than that. When people get these bills, they're going to be outraged, and they're going to say, how do we stop it? And the answer is simple. Democrats should sit down with Republicans, and Republicans should negotiate with us to deal with this health care crisis. It's really descending upon the American people in a very bad way, and they're going to be furious, and they're going to be furious at the people who refuse to do that, who refuse to help the American people with the health care crisis that they created in their so-called big, bad, beautiful bill, which they now want to change the name to. They know it's so bad. And we can solve this.
Fortunately, we are here this morning in a government shutdown that the Democrats wanted. Chuck Schumer, at the behest of a bunch of liberal, far-left activist groups, has walked his Democrat colleagues into a boxed canyon. There's no way out, folks. There's no way out. This could have been avoided. It's totally unavoidable. And everybody's now asking the question, how does this end? Well, it ends when the Senate Democrats pick this bill up, passed by the House of Representatives, and vote for it. It's on the floor of the Senate. We're going to vote later this morning on this, 24 pages. Does this look partisan? Does this look dirty to you? 24 pages to fund the government. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing else. The House kept it simple. We kept it simple in the Senate. This is something, as the Speaker noted, that 13 times in the past Senate Democrats have done when they were in the majority and Joe Biden was in the White House. This is a very straightforward issue. It's not complicated. They want it to end. Vote with us to open up the government by voting this out of the Senate today, putting it on President Trump's desk, and he will sign it into law.
Our caucus is resolute that we have to solve this health care crisis. That's our job. When something really afflicts the American people so badly, it's the job of senators on both sides of the aisle to come together. And here's what we hope. Now that the Republicans have seen they don't have the votes, they've done it twice, they will sit down and negotiate in good faith. Even when we talked to President Trump at the White House, he knew that the increases, these dramatic increases in people's health care insurance was going to hurt him. And he said that. So I think there's an opening for them to sit down with us. They've had since March to do this. We've asked them to vote on it 3 times, the Republican senators, and all 3 times they voted no. We need a real answer now. If they kick the can down the road, you know, as Martin Luther King once said, Senior, later means never. They know this is a crisis. They keep, you know, they don't want to talk about it, so they keep putting up this false stuff that undocumented immigrants will get this. No, the law is clear that no Medicaid, no Medicare, no ACA can go to any undocumented immigrants, but they keep bringing that up because they're afraid to talk about the real issue. Talk about it now.
How far do you think that OMB should go in firing federal workers now that there's a shutdown?
Well, first of all, I think you recognize this federal government's basically bankrupt, right? We're $37 trillion in debt. We're running a deficit this year, another $2 trillion, somewhere around there. So in the private sector, when you have a bankrupt entity, people get laid off. They have to find other jobs. So I can't really predict this. There's no reason for this shutdown whatsoever. This is being engineered by Chuck Schumer and the radical left. All they have to do is vote to pass the House continuing resolution. This won't even happen.
But you would be okay with federal employees being fired?
Again, that's what happens in the private sector all the time. I don't know why public sector employees ought to be immune from that process, but it's completely unnecessary.
Today is day one of the Republican shutdown. Republicans control the White House, the Senate, and the House. Democrats are here working on behalf of the American people. We're fighting to lower costs, cancel the cuts, and to save health care. And where House Republicans? They are on vacation. We are asking Speaker Johnson to bring back House Republicans right now so we can work together to not have this government shutdown.
Even as the government closes, Democrats will continue to keep fighting. I hope our Republican colleagues will finally wake up and join us. We were elected to solve the problems of this country, not make them worse. And that's exactly what Donald Trump and his Republican henchmen are seeking to do.